Hello, everybody. Welcome to Villain's Room. I'm your host, Villain Mills, and I'm here with, of course, the lovely Alicia. She's here today with us again. We had a great episode the last time she came on. And, we got a lot to get to, guys. We got a lot to get to. There's been a lot of, false prophets. There's a lot of people out there running around, of course, and saying they are part of the BLM movement, and saying that, they're pro-black, pro-women this, pro-this, and then they're out here doing some foolish activity. I don't know if you heard about this, Alicia, but have you heard about Roda Osman at all?
For sure. One person that stands out to me is, I think his name is 19 Keys.
Oh, God.
Glorious for pushing the pro-black agenda, but he's definitely a fraud and a scam.
So I'm trying to understand, what is the whole point of doing this? I feel like they are kind of downplaying the black experience in America, because they're going around, they're doing all these scams, they're acting out. And then they saying, "Oh, you racist, you racist, you racist. Oh, you being black, you ain't black." Or they're saying some ridiculous shit like that to justify their behaviors. There's this guy named Johnny Somali or whatever the hell his name is, on top of Roda Osman, who's just going around. He's going to Japan, out of all countries, going to Japan. And you know how Japan is a big on respect. So he's going to Japan. He's doing these pranks on random people, and he's wearing some type of one-piece hat. It's a anime hat he's wearing, and he's running around. Mind you, this guy is 5'4", 5'3", just running around Japan, and he's black, and he's just messing around with the locals there. And I'm just yo.
Careful, you on that bar. We ain't messing around, boy. You better calm on down, yo. Some people don't play that, so.
Yeah, I just don't quite get it. Why though? You know what I'm saying? It's
honestly, power is a tricky thing. Some people some people take the high road to get that power, and then some people take that low road. I mean, at the end of the day, you feel me? It goes back to Hegelian dialect. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Create a problem to create a solution. Right, and some people have perfected this technique so much that they know that the majority of people are sheep. They know that people don't have time. We was talking in our previous conversation. People don't have time to do the research and look into things and see who's who and what's what. That's why they got Joe Biden in office. You feel what I'm talking about? That's a whole nother conversation, though. But that's why they got Slow Joe in office. But
Slow Joe.
That whole thing, and honestly, the Hegelian dialect, has been a really ancient concept, and the people that are in positions of power have been utilizing this concept for so long. And so when you get information, right, and information goes into the wrong hands and stuff like that, then it's used for their personal gain, their personal agenda. You got people like Personal Keys, not Personal, 19 Keys, my bad, who this guy be walking around, acting he the next Muhammad Ali, you know what I'm saying? But in a safe, and he talk a good game. There's a lot of people out there, and it's so sad because they look like me and you, and they go off of an already existing problem, which is, we're fighting for equality. We're fighting, you know what I'm saying, to climb this ladder of classism and getting respect, not for the color of our skin, but the content of our character, the late great Dr. Martin Luther King said. But they know this, and so they see they're opportunists, you know what I'm saying, and they're sharks, and they see an opportunity to gain some followers. I mean, this is bigger than just money, you know what I'm saying? They know that people are sheep, right? They just want a particular group of sheep to flock to them. You know what I'm saying? They want a certain number of those sheep, you know what I'm saying, to sustain their way of life. You know what I mean? So it's really power trip of sorts,
Interesting. So the Gillian effect. Am I saying that right?
Gillian dialect.
Gillian dialect. Okay, that's interesting. I never heard of that before. Dang, but now that you've given me that definition and example of it, I'm like, damn, I'm about to add this to my vocab real quick. I'm gonna sit down there with these white people. Have you heard about the Gillian effect?
Like honestly, though, I'm telling you the best thing that people do, especially living in the land that we're living in. You feel what I'm saying? Is research into the systems that are in place, because when you we're not you got the extremists that what I'm saying, deep down in their hearts they might want to have an uprising or whatever, but that's not the thing that's gonna give us our freedom. The thing that's gonna give us our freedom is to gain the knowledge and free our mind. You feel what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out there that their minds are free from the system that we living in, and they are breaking barriers, not just in the physical realm, but in the spiritual realm as well. Because at the end of the day, right, you got all of isms, right? You got colorism, classism, thisism, thatism. There's so many isms, right? I like to call them distractions. There's so many of them to distract us from what's really going on. And at the end of the day, it really is a spiritual warfare. Going back into what I said about the ancient practices, that's all grounded in that other side, that side that you cannot see. It's all grounded in that. And even the people in positions of power, invisible people, not just we talking about the fake pro-black people, but everybody learned this from the ancient teaching. You feel what I'm saying? Even some of the stuff that's inside of the government has gone from ancient teachings. You can see it in symbolisms and all that stuff. So I mean, it's all about what you know and who you know.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm like, I don't know. It's been all right. Oh man, I got a lot on my mind.
Who will use anybody? I'm just gonna say that.
You got a good point, because Roda Osman definitely got the devil in her.
The devil can use anybody, Miles. A lot of people, they think, oh, the white man, the devil, but what I mean, I'm telling you, it's the devil can use anybody. You know what I'm saying? To pull a, what did they say? A wool over sheep's. What they say?
I don't know. Wool over sheep's clothes. I don't know. Some shit like that.
Like anything, it don't matter. And to us, we got our little circles where some people was pointing the finger at the white man like it's you, and then some people got women like it's you, and then some people was pointing the finger at men like it's you. You know what I'm saying? When real systems that are designed, and you know what I'm saying, and people love to make deals with the devil that want that power. You know what I'm saying? So hence we got this problem. Going back to what you was talking about these fake pro-black people. It's sad. They really stuff their own people out. It's sad.
It is, and we don't really do much to call them either. You know what I'm saying? Like the Roda Osman, the Johnny Somalian, the people you were talking about. Like it took us a while. Like we knew they were doing some bullshit out there, but it took us a while to even address the issue. You know what I'm saying? Because Roda Osman, for example, has a history of doing this shit. Right? She smokes, and then some white lady or some man comes up to the door and say, hey, you're smoking in the hotel, you can't smoke in the hotel. Then she goes off like, oh, I'm a woman, oh, I'm black. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous. Like you said before, though, the devil likes to go into people and control them. But like things like these, like we have to call these people out. We need to call them out on that shit, because like they're profiting, they're getting benefits from doing this shit. And then, after we figure out, who they are, after we figure out, how they function, they already profited. Roda Osman, for example, when she went to the hospital and her face got swelled up, she made a GoFundMe. And within that GoFundMe, a whole bunch of people were sending her donations or money, right, all that shit. And then she already profited. She already got the mark. And then people started to figure out, I was like, oh shit, actually she's a scammer. It's people are so freaking quick to jump into things.
Something like that on her face, and she hit her with a brick. I was like, that's wild. And then she was like, oh, all these men, nobody did nothing. Yo, I had a whole conversation about that because when I thought it was really what it was, just like, oh, that's funny because a lot of people be like, spoke on her and was like, yo, like, bad mouthing men and stuff like that. And I actually know people, I've grown, up in it. You know what I'm saying? So I know people that was like that. And, eventually, at least this is what I said when I thought the story was true. I'm like, if you go around and you puffing up your chest, like you a big dog, especially if you a woman, you know what I'm saying? And you trying to like, beat up your chest, like eventually somebody gonna step to you like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what it is. Like,
it takes the one. It takes the one, but like like what I'm saying, but the thing is that it wasn't allergic. First of all, it was like you said before, it was an allergic reaction. It wasn't even get hit with a brick, and then she goes, I don't know where the hell she was, but she just started to like you said before, like she was saying, look at all these black men not doing nothing. Do you know the funny part about when I first seen that video, Alicia? You don't know the funny part? I was like, first of all, a whole bunch of men did not help you while you got hit with the brick. That's very interesting. I was like, there's definitely men who would jump in, and I felt like she was like the aggressor. I was like, I kind of put it on her. I'm like, man, this girl's the aggressor. She's lying that shit, and I called it out on my last degenerate episode about Roda Osman. I was like, yo, she is a liar. The fact that you're a whole bunch of men and you're saying that you got hit with a brick and no man came to help you, bullshit. Listen, she ate some bad shrimp, or she got hit with some shit and her face swelled up. That's what fucking happened. She ate some foul.
She was looking crazy. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, a brick did that?
I said, I'm like, I don't think she'd be alive. I think she'd be scarred up and everything. A brick is kind of rough. You know what I'm saying? You should be bleeding. I see your face puffing up.
You're right. Look at that.
I'm like, you know how rough fucking brick are, bro? Yeah. Look at that shit. It's leaving a mark. It's leaving a bump, a mark. It's leaving everything. And all the cinnamon surface.
It did occur to me like, yo, her jaw ain't broken. Like, all that, and her jaw ain't mangled, bro. Like, it's a great come up, but But honestly, at the end of the day, though, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, because mom, you know what I'm saying? I did that street. I was on the inside, and one thing about it is, in some case scenarios, men will step in, but if you in the streets, you know what I'm talking about, and you like in a circle like that of individuals that's out there grinding, getting their bread, how they getting their bread, however they getting their bread, like one of them loudmouth females that you just won't, then it's every man for himself for real though. I hate to say it like that. It's every man for himself. I done seen it happen time and time again. And I honestly thought it was one of those case scenarios. You feel me? Like at first, I was like, and I made sure I made it clear as I was discussing about it that I'm not condoning, you know what I'm saying, anybody hurting a woman. But what I'm saying, like, you got a lot of these women out here, Miles, even in relationships, you feel me, where they say they want a real man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too far away from that. But I'm just saying this frame of mind in women that be like, oh, they want a real man and stuff like that. And then they call a man outside his name and, tell him, if they upset or something and really got these issues, these anger issues, oh, hit me, right? And you can have a man that's never put his hands on a woman before, but because that woman is challenging him, you feel what I'm saying? In that moment of passion and being irrational, the man could go and put his hands on her. I'm not saying it's right, but what I'm saying is you don't feed a flame with more fire, and that's the thing. A lot of people walking around, they ain't drinking enough water. You feel me? They overheating. They ain't put the right things in their body. You feel me? And then you have situations like these with this woman, totally faking. But if you take it and really look at the situation and the stuff that she was saying, it's like a lot of women really deal with this type of aggression and really don't know how to let it go and step into their femininity. So she playing into a situation that is really for real.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They masquerade like their defense is literally like positive movements that, you know, is either basically just positive movements. Like it's really crazy and sickening, because now you have other people, such as people like from other races who do not believe in our movements, using this example as being like a way to discredit what we are doing. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I'm really like, I want to call these people out, because it's literally just, it's like that saying, right? One bad apple and full of apples, and full of good apples can ruin everything. But like, it's like I said,
that's a worldwide thing, right? Like I said, another way to divide is distraction. I mean, look at what happened with some crooked cops, but then you got that whole saying, you know, F the police. You feel what I'm saying? Not all police crooked, and honestly, some police, you know what I'm saying, that do their job for real, go through some mental issues because of it. Some things that they have seen that made them cry, walking into a crack house and seeing children that, you know what I'm saying, are neglected because their parents is doing crack and all that stuff. They don't mention that stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Because why? They want us all to hate each other. Why they want us all to hate each other? Because they want us all to be distracted. You feel what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, this is why it's important for a person to educate themselves on every level. I mean, it's nobody else's responsibility but yours to take the blinder off of your eyes. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, ignorance is bliss. You feel what I'm saying? Until it's, and I wrote this because, you know, I be doing my little rap thing and spoken word. But I said, ignorance is bliss like a comforting blanket until you go and overheat on that stuff. You feel what I'm talking about? Like, you got to rip the blanket off. Yo, I love the whole concept, but I don't know if you've ever done it before, but I know you into health and wellness and stuff like that. But have you ever took an ice bath?
Oh no, I didn't take no ice bath, but I took a nice shower. Sure, a nice shower do me good.
I want to get into that because I want to literally break all of these things inside of me that's screaming comfort, comfort, comfort. Like, that's the way we gonna get stronger is if we step outside of that comfort zone and into the unknown and really dismantle these things that we hold to be close to us and to be self-evident. We gotta break them down. It's the only way we're gonna be free. You feel me?
That is fact. That is fact. That is the truth. Honestly, I feel like, let me just go back real quick. Go back to that the accountability piece with that woman that you were telling me about. Yeah, I mean, it's like when you, every time I see like a woman who acts like that, like you mentioned, and they not showing any type of level of, let's say, accountability. It's I feel like it's becoming a real issue in today's society, especially, you know what I'm saying? It goes back to breaking down certain things in a way, right? Where when people are not accountable for their actions and they spitting all this shit, they're kind of discrediting everything that we're trying to do. I don't know why accountability is such a big issue, and I see it more in women now than men. I would typically see in my experience, but for men, it's getting worse for men. It's honestly getting worse for men. I just hate it. Yeah,
it's hard for people. Everybody this generation is soft. You feel what I'm saying? This generation is soft and it's weak. You feel what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you know, of course, I'm not trying to say, like, whatever. Like, you know, we did go through, our parents went through, you know, the not all parents, but some parents went through the crack, you know, epidemic or whatever, and this, that, and third. But we also came from the baby booming eras where they worked really hard. You feel what I'm saying? But now we're in the informational era, and a lot of people ain't, like, they don't have to work as hard. You feel what I'm saying? Just knowing something to get you money. You feel what I'm talking about? Just using your brain, i.e., like, how able to even do this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I hate to say it. You know,
Yeah.
I hate to say it. You know what I'm saying? But he sat back and devised this plan like, yo, I'm about to boom, 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 say this and that and that. Like, bro, I'm not finna just go in the hospital and get, you know, a EpiPen for this. You feel me? Bro, that takes some type of like intelligence. It's stupidity at the same time, but it's
Yeah.
the reason why people are not being held accountable is because a lot of people are afraid to speak up. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people are afraid to speak up. And like you said, we need to call these people out. You feel me? Like even in sets and groups of things that are not okay. Like, and I hate to say this because I know that this would be like a very like touchy topic. But like in the LGBTQ community, right? Like they talk about these transsexuals that get murdered and stuff like that, right? And how it's not right and it's a hate crime, and they try to compare it to people being black, but it's two different things. You got
two different things.
Lying to men about who they really are. You're not telling the truth. They're not talking about the night walkers that's walking around acting like they women and man find out he going crazy because he thought that he was having sex with a woman. Or not even just a night walker, you dating somebody who you think is a woman, probably the most beautiful woman you ever met because what they doing is straight magic. You feel me? And then kind of find out it's not really a woman. You know what I'm saying? Now you tripping and you done in a fit of passion and rage, bro. You're like, bro, you done went and killed somebody, now you doing time. They not talking about that half. All they talking about is, oh, these hate crimes against so and so, and it's not the same. You on the side of being black, somebody just killing you because you black, bro. That's something that's been going on for thousands of years. Like that's not. So
let's also be real about that too. Is like with them, it's like they have much more support. You know what I'm saying? They have, especially when white people are on board. You know, things get done. You know what I'm saying? Or it's the. They have, what pisses me off the most is like you said before, they're getting much more support, they're getting much more progress than we have ever gotten for 400,000 of years, like you mentioned. And like I've had people like at my job who were constantly trying to feed me, you know, the trans experience and all that. And I'm just like, I'm fighting another battle, man. I'm fighting just being black and being a black man in general, and getting these black men to a position of like even getting into technology or things of that sort. Like that's a whole different battle. And I just have this one person who's kept on pushing it and pushing it. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm fighting a different battle. I cannot fight 20 battles at once.
Right. It almost like an agenda, man. Real talk. I would go as far as to say that it is an agenda, like, and a lot of things they covering up, like how some of these groups from the same group is they got low chance that they be saying like, I'm coming for your children, like facts. Like, I mean, it's a warfare, so you know, but
well, yeah, they put it in schools too. Weren't they feeding that stuff in schools?
Yeah, Miles. So
hold on, Alicia. You gotta tell me, yeah, because I know you have kids.
We got why I homeschool my kids, Miles. This is wonderful. Not the top reason, but it's one of the reasons. But like you said, Miles, you know what I'm saying? It's people like us, you know what I'm saying, and other people that need to be brave enough to step up and speak about this, because it is a love thing at the end of the day. You want to show love, right? It's no hate whatsoever, but you know what I'm saying? Like people can't be afraid to step into the light, you know what I'm saying, and be honest. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't have to agree with everything that you doing to love you. You know what I'm saying? I could love you and still say I don't agree. You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like you said, you know what I'm saying? It's about calling these things out, and we're living in a generation where, and even you could tell by the laws, you know what I'm saying, that they want to silence people. They don't want people, listen, a lie, you notice like there's lies all over the place. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, our presidents have lied. You feel what I'm talking about? But when it comes to like telling the truth, you feel me? You notice how like every time something is like surrounded around the truth, they want to cover it up. They want to pack it down. You feel me? But somehow it gets to the surface. And that's what we're dealing with here right now. This is why problems are existent, because of the battle between, you know, good and evil, a lie and the truth, this and that, you know, like, you know, so
Yeah, I get it. Damn, man, that's crazy. Like to grow up in a society where you could just think about everything. To grow up into a society where a kid would know more about LGBTQ than Black history.
Joey and Miles, I kid you not. I'll probably see a lot of Black people because at the end of the day, Miles, I used to go down that road. So let me just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Tell us, shame the devil real quick. I'm not so. Just because I'm spiritual and I have a spiritual connection to my creator does not mean I'm a Bible thumper. I'm not trying to thump nobody down with the book. You feel me? What I'm saying is this, you know what I mean? I'm that person, you feel me, that's way past conspiracy theories. You feel me? I mean, yo, I had that time in my early, you know what I'm saying? I'm 38 now. I had my time in my early, you know what I'm saying, 20s, late teens where I was like, oh, conspiracy this, conspiracy that, and searching. And I hadn't even tipped the scale, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to that rabbit hole. I'm way on the other side now. I'm on that side where I'm listening to the younger folk be like, yo, I'm trying to prove that this is true and that is true about the conspiracy theory. I'm like, honey, you late, because this stuff is already true. They already told us that is true. You, my love, are out here, you know what I'm saying, getting whatever, turning up, doing what you're doing, partying, you know what I'm saying, putting your frequency down, your energy levels down to the point where you can't even see what's right or what's wrong. You feel what I'm talking about? But I videos now with like these people, like I seen people doing seances like about these things and conjuring up these things because, Miles, it is an attack on mankind. It is an attack on my children. It's bigger than the LGBTQ. Like I'm telling you, like what, man? Like yo,
yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree with you. It's bigger.
Like if people, I'm telling you, like I got to a point where it had broke my mind down. You know, we spoke about that a little bit, and I worked years just to regain consciousness and control of my own mind. And really, it was a long healing process where my body, I changed the way I ate. You know what I'm saying? I changed what I was like allowing to come into my mind. I don't watch the news because that's fake. You feel what I'm saying? Television, tell my vision. You trying to brainwash me into believing what I see, bro. You feel me? Yes, Miles. So I think it's a lot.
Yo, and you want me to tell you some more facts? Like, you know that suicide, right, for instance, is high for men. Like, we are the top of the top and in terms of suicide rates. And then you always would hear, like, no offense, like you will hear about the woman's experience with suicide. You hear about the LGBTQ experience with suicide. You will hear about anything that's not related to the heterosexual male and how they're killing themselves. Like they ignore everything on the top.
Yep.
You feel me? And
yeah. Right. I'm telling because I had a dream, right? That I was watching like conference on TV, and literally I thought that it was because I be having visions, but literally I thought I was awake, and like basically what I seen was this guy, he was talking to the audience and the audience was responding to him, and I'm sitting watching this on TV. But the conversation, what I was getting from it, I actually said out my mouth, I said, Black man is at the bottom of the totem pole. You feel what I'm talking about? First, the white man, you know what I'm saying? Then it's, and I'm gonna explain to you this later on because I don't want this to be the focal point of the conversation, but we are going to talk about this. But the Black woman is next. You feel what I'm talking about? Just thinking back to the slave master and him sneaking to go sleep with the Black women slaves over his wife. You feel what I'm talking about? Black woman is next. You feel what I'm talking about? Then the white woman, and then their dogs. They're dogs, like they're actual dogs that they walk out, pet, this, that, and the third, whatever. But yes, Miles. So you can go ahead and finish saying what you're saying. I know what
you're talking about. I know what you're trying to get there. I know what you're trying to get there for sure. Shoot. Damn. Now that you put that hierarchy up there, you got me thinking real hard about this shit.
It's true.
It kind of goes back. It kind of breaks down what Chris Rock used to say. Like the people, like the things that I love unconditionally are kids, women, dogs. Ain't that some shit? I think he said that or somebody said it. But anyway, like I was saying there, I was like, shit, he's right. Like I have to do so much to even get the woman of my dreams. I gotta provide. I gotta make sure I'm doing this, that. Make sure I got a house. Make sure I got a car. To even get a woman that likes attention, first of all, and then like if I go through hard times, I get married, I go through hard times. Now I'm trying to figure out if she's gonna leave me or not with the kids. Like it's kind of crazy now. I'm just thinking about this shit.
You look at the overall picture. And it's like it's nothing wrong with having those things and being prepared, right? Just like on the other side of being a woman, right? I think that before a woman, and this is just my experience because of the mistakes that I made, not because I know, but because of the mistakes that I made. I think that a woman, before she get into a relationship with a man and talk about what she wants from a man, a high value man, I feel like she should be knowing what it is to be a high value woman. And I'm not talking about money wise. I'm talking about her inside and her femininity at its core.
Exactly.
One thing about my grandmother and grandfather, yeah, my grandfather was a provider, but when it came down to it and money was short, my grandmother didn't have a problem going out there and getting work. And when it comes to like me and my marriage, like I'm telling you right now, Miles, I'm got a problem going out there and getting work. Like I've been going out there doing these audits for Walmart, and I'm climbing ladders, going on roofs and doing audits and stuff, just like a man would. I don't have a problem because I know at the end of the day, if anything ever happened to me and I got sick, my husband to take care of me. You feel me? People are about marriage. Marriage is teamwork. You feel what I'm saying? Marriage is an enterprise. You feel what I'm saying? Marriage is a foundation. Like people think like, oh well, when I get married, what can I get out of it? No, when you get married, it's time for you to serve. Like y'all are serving each other. It's not what can I get out of it. It's how can I serve you.
I like that. That's facts. I mean, that kind of explains why in the last 50 years marriages dropped by nearly 60%. I feel like it's become more materialistic than actually understanding what the foundation of what a marriage is. You are absolutely fucking right on that shit. It's kind of sickening too. Like before even, like you said before, going back to understanding what like woman nature is. Like men nature and woman's natures definitely need to understand before you hop into a marriage as well. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand what a man will most likely is expecting of you, and and it does that vice versa. A man needs to know what's expected from you as well. So like I've always sat down there and I was like, these women are always talking about the fairy, the Disney, the marriage and all that shit like that, but they're not thinking about nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
It's fake. I'm telling you right now, it's fake. I have daughters, Miles, and I'm not raising my daughters like that. Like, yeah, they watch that stuff sometimes. You feel what I'm talking about? Because, like, I don't want to take away that, like, innocence of, like, that whole, like, I want them to be able to imagine, be princesses and stuff, but in the same token, I give them a dose of reality and I let them know what's for real, because that stuff is fake.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like but that's the only thing that the consumers are eating. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear that. Like people they would rather be in their delusions and then being in their like factual like life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like they rather just feed this delusion to themselves, and then the people who understand this is some level of delusion is feeding these people because they know that's going to fill their pockets at the end of the day. And like it's a nasty fucking wheel. And I think we just need more people to understand what marriage truly is, and then maybe we see more marriages in the future. Because like this is sickening. Like the last 50 years, marriages dropped by nearly 60%. 60 fucking percent.
Yeah.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know marriage. I know marriage has changed a little bit over time because of also because since the woman started to be more economically independent and
Right.
participate in the labor force a little more. I understand because to some degree it was a survival tactic for women at a certain point. But now that they're out there doing their thing, it changed the meaning. I mean, it's less materialistic and less about survivability. It's more about your mindset, your mental mindset, your emotional mindset.
Right.
It's about things that you can't necessarily see all the time, but it's something that it's something that's eternal within you that the other person knows about yourself as well, and that's how I make it work. You know what I mean?
Trust thing too. I think you got to go back to the core of what it is. Can we as a people trust each other? You know what I mean? If we can't, what I'm saying, then these things is always going to present a problem. Like you were saying about the women in the beginning, what I'm saying? Really this whole agenda with the women and everything like that, and being self-sufficient and women's rights and stuff. It really started between, what I'm saying, and if you look into history, it really started between the white woman and the white man. You feel what I'm talking about? And so,
That's true.
right, okay. So with that being said, you feel me? It really came from a place of, like you said, of survival. You feel what I'm saying? Because of the way, what I'm saying, the white man was treating his wife. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't treating her, what I'm saying, with respect. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm.
Basically, hence came up these things about women's rights, being able to vote and all this and that or whatever. And so it started out being a really innocent thing, but over time, what I'm saying, like anything that's good, what I'm saying,
gets corrupted.
Come in and corrupted. And so now, what I'm saying, it's getting to a point where, women's accomplishments, they're measuring the worth of a man by their own accomplishments. And that's wrong. You feel what I'm saying? Because it could be like a man might not be a millionaire, you know what I'm saying, but he could be getting paid pretty good money, 6 figures, doing whatever he doing that he loves. But because, what I'm saying, he don't own a business or something like that woman that was talking about, I think Ayanna Vincent, what I'm saying, was asking this woman, like, what I'm saying, so if you had a man that was a bus driver, what I'm saying, making mad good money, you feel what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You wouldn't, like create a life with him, and she was like, he has to own the bus company, not be a bus driver. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, so it's just like, yo, like people like, what I'm saying, like it, like number one, you're setting the precedence, what I'm saying, for something that is just totally not right. It's an unfair advantage. You're taking away someone's right, what I'm saying, to live life and be satisfied doing what they're doing and love what they're doing. Because isn't that what life is about at the end of the day? You know what I'm saying? Like, my pleasure is going to come strictly from my husband. You feel what I'm saying? There's ways that I got to make my own self happy that he cannot cover. You feel what I'm saying? And same thing with him. So who am I to dictate to my husband what he should be doing based on my happiness? Like, I mean, it's a give and take. And and honestly, like, it's oh man, Miles. It's
I agree.
Like, shut up. No.
Nah. You were spitting. I let you cook. I let you chef it up a little bit. Put some seasoning in that motherfucking pot. I let you do your thing. But but I'm just like that because you are absolutely right. Like, but I understand that for men there's a burden of performance, and it's always going to be there to an extent, and that's what mainly is what drives us insane. It's that burden of performance. Like, if like I'm passionate, let's say for example, if I'm passionate about something, I make it 6 figures, I'm a middle class man, and I got everything all settled, and I bring a woman into my circle, and then she's trying to control what I'm doing because she's quote unquote this makes her happy. I feel like when your mission as a man gets compromised by a woman, it's no longer a relationship you should really be holding on to. I feel like a woman has to understand that her man is gonna do what he's been doing in order to get somewhere. I've heard like millions of times, like, oh, he's making this, he's making this much money, but I don't like him going overseas for these meetings, these big things, and then I don't like him talking to investors. When it becomes like that, the relationship is not a relationship. It's more like a power control thing, and so.
The dictatorship.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know where this entitlement comes from, especially if a man is doing well for himself, he's doing good for himself. I don't know where that came from. But like, if I said this many times, it's like when you in a relationship, you sign up for something, right? You're supposed to, you usually vet your man, or the man vets the woman to see where she's at in life and how she moves. It's like when you get into a relationship, then you have that understanding. That's your secret contract, right? You know what's going on. And then like when you change over time to let's say go against that contract or whatever that man is trying to do in his life, like I said, the shit's going left. It's going straight left, and it's falling down very quickly. It's just like the stock market. It's up and then it crashes down like never before. So I'm like, y'all shouldn't do that. If I tell women, it's like, if you're really unhappy, then just leave. Because like, honestly, he's doing what he needs to do, and you're trying to change him. And it's just like, that makes no goddamn sense. Let him do what he needs to do. That makes him happy as a man. You know what I'm saying? Let him do what he needs to do. I've also seen other scenarios where a woman who does not properly vet their man, and I'm gonna be straight with you. He's a no good nigga. Like this dude is out here in the streets. He's smoking, he's drinking all the time, but partying all the time. He's living his life as a bachelor, but he's also fucking around in the streets, just selling drugs and all that shit. And then homegirl gets pregnant by him, and then assuming that things are gonna change in the future, and that motherfucker hasn't changed for shit. And like, I don't understand this mentality for a woman who thinks they can actually just go in and change a man like that. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of fucking work. And plus, you have a low rate of success on top of that. It's like, what are you doing? And now you have a kid who's growing up with a mother who doesn't understand men's nature, because all he knows is the female nature, because that's all he's been around. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, I don't know what's going on with today's fucking world, but it is absolutely sickening. I just like, it goes down that.
People are going so fast and don't know where they're going. That's why I said, like, back to the beginning of what we were saying, like, people don't have time, you know what I'm saying, to do their own research, to like learn, because to be close to yourself is to be close to your creator, is to be close to you. That means you have to dig down deep in places, you know what I'm saying, with your creator that you can't go by yourself. Dig deep down into those places and uproot, you feel what I'm saying, everything that's holding you down, everything that's holding you back, everything that's preventing you from being the illuminated being that you are. Like, we're just covered in flesh, you feel what I'm saying, but the core of God, we're illuminated beings, you know what I'm saying? We are in the knowing, you feel what I'm saying? This is why certain things have been put in place to cut down us being in the knowing, because the mind, you feel me, is a powerful thing, you know what I'm saying? We know that. And so this is why, you feel me, like all of these foods out here, like these microwave foods, these fast foods, you know what I'm saying, liquor stores on every corner, various forms of poison, and the very food that we eat, people not reading the labels. And then you put on top of that a person that's eating these and consuming these foods and stuff and this dirty water, and then on top of that, they going out, they partying, you know what I'm saying, and they putting their poison of choice in their body and dealing with their vices. It's a recipe for disaster, destruction, and death, and they know this, you know what I'm saying? They dumb it down, you feel me? So at the end of the day, you got situations like what you said, like like basically, you know what I'm saying, the women is not vetting the men and the men is not vetting the women. Why? Because we're living in a society of instant gratification, people moving so fast and don't know where they're going. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But I'm telling you, if there was more people, because you can't go through the system to achieve this. But I'm just saying, like, say there was more individuals like me and you that was raising people up to reverse that way of thinking, like, bro, it's not about comfortability. Get yourself uncomfortable, because it's when things that are shaken up, rubbed together, packed down, you know what I'm saying? It's gold. You feel me? You could see that in the earth and how the earth is. If the earth just lays still, we wouldn't have diamonds and we wouldn't have gold.
Ain't that a fact? That shit, this planet will be fucked.
The same thing, because we made out of the earth. You feel me? Everything that the earth is made of, we're made up of too. So it's like, at the end of the day, if we're shaking up, you feel what I'm saying, rubbed down, packed down, you feel what I'm saying, eventually you're gonna come up with a diamond, you're gonna come up with some gold. But you got people walking around thinking that it's just the opposite, like, I don't know, I'm just me, that's the way it's gonna be. And they think they living their best life, but really at the end of the day, you're robbing yourself of the best experience that you can get out of life that really should be rooted in love. You feel what I'm talking about? You feel what I'm talking about? Then you could get, you know what I'm saying? Like, even, I'm not saying that bad things don't happen, because bad things happen to the best of people. You know what I'm saying? Bad things happen to children, you know what I'm saying, before they even, you know, get an understanding of what life is. But at the core of that, you know what I'm saying, if you could find a way to claw through all that madness, you know what I'm saying, and get to the top, to realize that there is no top and that you can go as far as you want to go, you feel what I'm talking about? That's the real freedom right there. That's when you can become the best person, the best friend, the best brother, the best sister, the best husband, the best wife, the best lover, the best boss. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You'll be unstoppable.
True. But they ain't like, when, you know what's so funny is when you do become unstoppable and nobody could do anything, you realize how many haters you have. Like, shit.
They don't begin to understand what it took to get you where you are. You feel what I'm talking about? Today, they really fueling, because number one, they living their life vicariously through you, so they success. They not cutting themselves no favors being a hater. You feel me? Like, and it just shows like their insecurities, their weakness, and there's a lot of that out there. That's why I was talking to this woman. She got like land in like different continents. You feel me? And she was saying like, you don't really have to worry about the people. Like, I mean, yes, worry about the people in positions of power and stuff like that. But really, you gotta worry about the majority that's following the people in positions of power, the sheep, the people that don't know no better, the people that's ignorant, because at the end of the day, they'll be defending all these lies and all these concepts, all these isms, all these things that are put in place, and they could possibly want to destroy you over that. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. So
damn. Well, we could get into that on a later episode, because like shit, we could talk for that for like five episodes straight. To be honest with you, I got haters too, and it's funny because I've definitely grown up in life, and now that I'm looking at all these people from high school, like, oh shit, Miles, you doing your thing? Oh shit, I see you. Oh, you an engineer now? Oh shit. Like, I'm like, I can see all the hate. I can see all the demons on your fucking backs. You think I can't see that shit from my way? Some of them are genuine, and some of them are genuine. Some of them are just like, yeah, all right, I know how you were like in high school. You think I was shit, and you probably still thought I'm not even shit now. And that's what and it's so funny, man. It's so funny. But man, we talked a lot today, and unfortunately, I gotta end it here, guys. I wish we could continue, but we at the 50-minute mark. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, subscribe wherever platform you're on, and peace.